As business consultants, we work with a lot of attorneys.
Yeah.
And we see some key mistakes that they make without even really knowing that they're mistakes. They actually think that they're making the right decision, but they're actually making an incorrect decision for business growth.
Sure, for sure.
I think one of those is they have a difficult time paying themselves first.
Tremendous.
They'll pay their team first, they'll pay their vendors first, and their firm that they personally will actually make very little money or even be in the red in terms of money, right?
Yeah.
So on paper, their firm looks like it's a high-performing firm. I mean, we've even seen $3 million firms where the owners are taking home $75,000 a year.
Right, exactly.
Right? And
Yeah.
everything else is going to team and vendors.
Yep.
So from a mindset perspective, what's going on there?
This goes way back into our childhood where we're taught to put everybody before ourselves and not even understand what that means. I'm going to take care of everybody and put me last because that's what a good person does. The problem is that when you get into business, if you don't take care of yourself first, you're the person that's leading, you're the person with the vision, you're the person that's making the decisions. You got to be the healthiest person on the boat, because if you're not, you cannot take care, because you're coming from a lack perspective. You're coming from a down position if you're not actually putting yourself first and take care of yourself first. And they get afraid, like there's only so much money. So if I'm going to short somebody, I've got to short myself. And they don't think to themselves, if let's just say that was true, they didn't have enough money and they couldn't pay somebody, that they could actually lay somebody off. They don't think from that position. It's almost like once I've hired somebody, I owe them to keep them on as an employee forever. I'm responsible for them, right? Yeah. And you're not responsible for them. Everybody that takes a job working for somebody else, it's a known fact that I have this job as long as the company's in business and as long as I can continue to do my job. It's a two-way street. But they don't, the other principle behind this that's very difficult for them to grasp is that they're worth making the amount of money that they need to make in order to make their life comfortable and move in the direction that they want. After all, it is their business. When they value themselves at that level, they will solve the problem at the other level, which is I don't have enough money for my team. You do have enough money for your team, but you won't realize it till you start realizing you have enough money for yourself first.
Right. That's a problem that can be solved.
Very much so.
Instead of focusing on cutting what you make, the idea would be to focus on how do we get in front of more ideal clients?
How do we get more clients? How do we make more money? How do we make more sales? It's how do we do more, not how do we do more with less.
Right. Another area that I see attorneys get really tripped up is in doing all the menial tasks themselves. So a lot of times when we're in conversation with law firm owners, we hear about how overwhelmed they are, right? To the point where they're actually pushing business away. They have people coming in, but they can't actually fulfill on the services.
Right.
And when we do a little bit digging, we find that they're doing things that should be tasked, delegated, given to someone else. So they're doing the $10 and $12 tasks. They're doing the management activities where the best value for their time is on business development, creating referral partnerships, shooting video, right?
Yeah.
So that people can hear their message. And they're really resistant to hiring the help that they need. And it goes back to the first one of paying themselves first, right? Well, if I hire someone else, then how am I going to pay that person? And I can do these things.
People seem to forget that when you're raised in an environment where the value system is really based on survival, then why would I pay somebody to do something that I could do myself makes sense. But when you want to become a high-functioning business, the mindset has to shift. It is, how can I pay for somebody else to do something that I shouldn't be doing so that we can all move forward together? You're not in survival anymore. You're not creating a business to survive. But you have to change your mindset to thriving, not surviving.
Right. And I find that they're most resistant to hiring an assistant. Someone for them,
right? Rather
than they have no problem hiring another attorney or a paralegal, but when it comes to hiring an executive assistant or a personal assistant, that's when all the doors go up.
That's a transparency problem usually, right?
Well, it's a worth problem. Mm-hmm. They don't feel like they're good enough to have someone support them.
And they don't want somebody to see them be in disarray.
And they don't want someone to see how disorganized their life actually is.
Yeah.
But that's where an executive assistant thrives, in taking that chaos or that mess and creating systems around it.
Right.
So it's like it's a symbiotic relationship, but the law firm owner only sees shame.
And they don't have to teach the assistant. The assistant will teach them.
Yes. Which is actually my third point in where I see law firm owners getting caught up in their own growth is that they feel like they have to have all the answers.
Yeah.
Right? When attorneys have this huge responsibility or have taken on the huge responsibility of always having the answers.
Right.
Right? Like they've got a fantastic educational background. They've got degrees.
They're trained to be the smartest person in the room.
They're trained to be the smartest person in the room. And so then asking them to be vulnerable and ask for help is sometimes really difficult for a law firm owner because they have to admit they have a problem for one, and they have to admit that they don't have all the answers for two, and then they have to let people see that they don't have all the answers. I mean, I really think there's a large portion of law firm owners that actually don't want to run their own law firm. And I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we know that. We know that for sure.
Right? Like, great. You know what it is that you want to do. Then you need to just hire someone to run the law firm and make that be okay.
Exactly.
You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to know how to do everything.
Yep.
And then finally, client standards and poor boundaries.
For sure.
So you have a law firm that can only take a certain number of clients. Where I see this as an issue with law firm owners is that they're in such a paradigm that they want to help everybody, even though they shouldn't help everybody.
Right.
And they're also taking clients because that client is right there right now.
Well, they need the business.
They need the business.
They need that. It's a need issue, right? I need to take what's in front of me in the moment.
So they don't set standards about who their ideal client is, and they end up taking people that they make less from. But that person they're making less from takes twice as much time as a higher level client.
Yeah.
But they're afraid to let go of that lower standard client because what if there isn't a higher level client ready and available, right? So they get into this like they're really being manipulated by the clients that come in the front door rather than them saying, this is who we are and this is who we help and these are the people we're not going to help and these are the people we're going to just knock it out of the park for.
Exactly.
That really stunts your business.
Extremely.
And it causes confusion within your team.
Yep. Yeah, I think that it is as much, if not more, an evaluation from the lawyer's perspective as to whether they're going to take the client than the client actually working with them. They should be picking and sorting through the people that they truly want to work with, they can truly help, and they truly enjoy working with.
Yes. Coming up in October, we have a fantastic 3-day event that addresses these exact topics. And in fact, we have a lot of law firm owners that are going to be present. We're hosting our very last Art of Success Summit. And the summit doesn't mean we have all kinds of speakers. It's just David and myself teaching all 3 days about how to create your business as a work of art, meaning you get to create what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to have, whatever it is that you want. And we'd love to just invite you to join us October 12th, 13th, and 14th virtually, so no travel required, so that you can see what it is you currently can't see that's keeping you from the business you really desire.